Look at all this space. You got room for the kids, dogs, and of course, groceries. Are you bored yet? Good, because that's the Toyota you think this is? But this is the Grand Highlander Hybrid MAX, and it's built for the parent who isn't dead inside yet. Let's go! Oh yeah! Here it is in all its glory, the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid MAX. MAX means power, MAX means performance, so not your boring Prius-like in the left lane, very frustrating kind of driver. Is going to be more of somebody who likes to drive aggressively like me. Speaking of me, I am Pat the Outsider. This is my channel, regular guy doing car reviews. Don't filter my words. I say a lot of shit that you're not going to hear on other reviewers. Like the sound of that, like, subscribe, get on with the show. From the outside look, yeah, looks like a typical Grand Highlander, and you don't really see much difference between that. It's got a nice front fascia. I like the big grille, and I also like that it's got everything LED, fog lights. Yeah, it is good to go. That is not where it's going to hit you. It's got 360-degree camera. I do have a camera over here, but what's behind that? What's in the guts? What makes it work? So this is where I get right into the specs. So behind this Hybrid MAX, we have the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. That's right, I said turbo and hybrid. That's right. So those two are going to put out 362 horsepower, 400 pounds-feet of torque via a 6-speed transmission. That translates to a 0 to 60 time in 5.6 seconds. They didn't go with a boring CVT, and that should give you a hint of what this is meant for. The regular version of this, I am going to talk about it because it's naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with a boring 245 horsepower, powered through even more boring eCVT. Towing capabilities is 5,000 pounds. Fuel economy combined is 27 miles per gallon or 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers. So when you're looking at that 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers or 27 miles per gallon, there's still some good fuel economy numbers, considering this is a 3-row SUV. It's got a ton of space in there. I talked about it in my intro. But the thing is, it's going to be also fun to drive. So stay tuned for that driving portion, because that's where it's really going to kick in. As we're going to the side here, we have a nice spoke design on 20-inch wheels. So 20-inch rim, nice tires, Yokohama tires. It's a good design. I like the spokes design. It looks cool. Also, more cameras for that 360-degree look. Nice big mirrors. So for that towing capability of 5,000 pounds, these mirrors are a pretty good size. Approach and departure, lock and unlock. Good to go. And let's take a look of how big this is, because I'm a pretty big guy as it is, but this is massive. So much usable space. So yeah, I am going to talk about all the boring functional stuff as well as all the exciting stuff. So let's go take a look out back. In the backhand, this is where you have your MAX badge telling you that this is not any regular hybrid. You also have dual exhaust coming out telling you this is not an electric vehicle. Grand Highlander stamped out. Wipers, of course, and I do have a camera behind this windshield that is your camera for the rear view mirror that turns into a camera. So it's not exposed. As long as your glass stays clear, you'll be good to use that mirror. I kind of like that approach. Some people use it an exterior camera and such, some other manufacturers. So, you know, it's a different approach. Once you're inside, we're going to start talking about what makes the Grand Highlander grande, and that is right away with the seats up, you're looking at 20.6 cubic feet of space. That is a lot of space. And once you put the seats down, you also have that JBL speaker and a regular 150 watt outlet or 120 volt. So it's a regular outlet like your house. It can power pretty much any device that your house can power. With the seats down, you're looking at the third row down, 57.9 cubic feet of space. And if I put all the seats down, 97.5 cubic feet of space. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lot of cargo space, basically for any family. If your family is too big, then doesn't fit in all this space, you need to shrink it. That's all I gotta say. Let's go look at the legroom and power opening and closing. There you go. Now to gain entry to the rear seats, I just have a lever, I pull and everything slides in. It gives you a decent gap for your entrance. I'm a bigger guy now. I do have a couple inches of a higher floor here than I do in the second row. So you do have a step up. And I'm just gonna make 2 points of entry because I am not flexible, nor am I small. So let's go in there. Yeah, I can enter fairly easily. And let's pull it back. Once I'm back here, it's a decent amount of space. 33.5 inches of legroom. Headroom, for reference, I'm 5'9". I do have at least another inch left over of headspace. One thing I do like also about these seats is you can actually recline them by pulling that. So I can go from here all the way back here. So you can see there's quite a big difference in reclining. I just don't like the fact that I have to reach behind me. Again, don't have that shoulder flexibility either. I have two decent sized cup holders on the side. I have a USB-C port as well. Ventilation back here. The seats here are not heated or ventilated, but I do have some padding too on the sides here that is pretty good for an armrest. Overall, as an adult, I am pretty darn comfortable, but I'm gonna move to the second row now. Second row, 39.5 inches of legroom, ample headroom, so much, forget about it. Ventilation over here, also sunshade, there you go, over there. And you can start to see the nice brown, I love the brown leather and suede fabric on the seats. Very, very comfortable. These seats are both heated and ventilated. You can control that through your HVAC controls over here. So obviously this is tri-zone climate control kind of vehicle, USB-C, and another 120 volt outlet to keep your devices charged. Pretty cool. Another thing I love is, first of all, I love this bronze trim that you're going to see a little bit more in the front, but it's everywhere in the vehicle. Big cup holders over here, and you have these two slots. Now they do have this rubber here to absorb impact, and they are for tablets. That's right. Get the tablet here, slide it in here. Pretty functional kind of stuff, right? Definitely 2025 kind of vibe here. And I like that they didn't just make this empty. They're using it. I got cargo space here and everything is good. Overall, I also don't have a big predominant hump here, so you can actually have a very easy way of stretching your legs. Comfort to the max. It's not just a hybrid max, definitely comfort to the max with armrest, and I can recline up to this setting here, making it a very easy ride for adults here in the second row. All right, so once we're inside here, one thing is Toyota's not exactly known for having the best interiors. They're known to having boring interiors, and that's why I was so surprised when I came into this Grand Highlander Hybrid MAX Platinum trim. Wow, that is a very well done job. It's a nice freaking interior, guys, seriously. And I'm not the biggest Toyota fan, I'm really not. Bronze accent everywhere, over here, over there, here on the steering wheel. Oh yeah, that looks sharp. Big screens, also carbon fiber touches here on the sides, on the shelf over there. Well done as well. They didn't just go with boring piano black. Awesome. They could have used it a little bit more here around the shifter as well, but I won't ding them too much for that one. Let's take a look about digital gauge cluster right here. Highly modifiable. You can change the look, change the info. Really customizable. And this is where all your drive modes is going to kick in. So your drive mode switches are down here. Eco, Sports, Snow, Normal is over here. And then you have your terrain modes. So you got mud and sand, and rock and dirt. Click back to normal. I like this setup. I like how functional this is. I like how you can turn the wheel for your for your terrain modes and have physical button to press for your drive modes. Very well done, very practical. Shifter actually caught me off guard when I first got into it, because I get into my cars blind when I go pick him up. Okay, I don't really do much research. I just want to know how. And at first, I was okay. Put your, I've seen a Triptonic shifter before, so anyway, let's kick back. Why is it not going anywhere? And then I actually had to read. I'm like, oh, okay. So left down is drive, left up is reverse. Speaking of reverse, I've mentioned 360 camera, but also very sharp quality of image. Very easy to park. And to go to park again, you just press the park button and there you are. So not a big learning curve, and it's not a shifter that's going to stick out way too much, which gives you very usable space here. So I do have two that are legit cup holders, two spots here that are cup holders, and then I have a cargo place right here that could also be used as a third cup holder. If you've seen these big Stanleys that everybody carries, it actually just fits in there as well. So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3 door, so many cup holders, very functional stuff. Wireless charger goes very well with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I also have 2 more USB-Cs. So I pointed out on the shelf here, there is a USB-C charger over there. So your passenger doesn't bother you with wires blocking your area. Power button over here. And you do have a wireless charger here. I wish I could have seen this a little bit be more usable. I find that it's not really enclosed anywhere. So anything you put there is going to slide. And this is a kind of a missed opportunity for a second wireless charger, in my opinion. Yeah, I think they could have done it without. HVAC controls, hard physical button, tri-zone like I mentioned earlier, heated ventilated seats, of course, followed up by a massive digital infotainment system. One thing though, I will ding Toyota, it's not the most fun to navigate. It is kind of very boring. It's not like large icons or anything. It's just, it is what it is, right? And all the information is there, but I feel like it could be better. And when you're using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, it does use up basically the whole screen over here. So that much I do like. So your maps are pretty big, and you can also have your maps on your digital gauge cluster. You can modify that pretty darn well. Hard buttons again everywhere. It does have the sensors where it scans your eyes for if you're not attentive while driving. And I got some more physical buttons over here. So over here, I do have the heated steering wheel. I do think it's a little bit off to the side. I like to see it maybe used around here or the steering wheel, but that's just a personal preference in that way. I got a nice heads-up display and a mirror, as I mentioned when I was talking to the back. It changes into a rear view camera, which is behind the windshield. So as long as the windshield is clear, the rear windshield, you're going to be just fine. I also have a nice storage area here for my sunglasses. Huge panoramic sunroof, lets a lot of light in. And overall, the seats are very comfortable. Power adjustable seat for the passenger and driver, and also heat adjustable for the passenger. Something that some other brands are kind of cutting out. Height adjustability on the passenger. Toyota did not do that in this sense. So really good power adjustable lumbar support as well for the driver. Overall, it's a fairly comfortable space to be in, but also they did a really good job at not being boring. When I'm looking at this, I'm thinking they might have messed up a little bit, because why would you go for a Lexus when a Platinum gives you essentially everything you can ask for from a luxurious standpoint? Comment below if you agree. Let me reverse out here, turn around. And one thing I like is you can actually see what's underneath you. They got a camera showing what's underneath the vehicle. So when you have your 360 camera going, it's also, making your vehicle transparent and showing you what you're driving over. Really handy piece of kit. I want to talk before I take off about this clear departure for Toyota from being that, fuel conservative vehicle with hybrid system and all that stuff, and this complete 180 into, let's make a performance-oriented hybrid SUV. So you're going away from that Synergy all-wheel drive, and now Hybrid Max, full-time all-wheel drive. And what that gives you is, the Synergy is going to give you like 20% torque into that rear axle, the electric motor. In this case, you can go anywhere, shift anywhere between a 70-30 front bias split to a 20-80 rear bias. Your torque numbers vary greatly, and that's going to give you just more control, obviously more acceleration, more power, and obviously be able to, in slippery condition, a little bit faster reaction time. Obviously this is summer, not in the winter. I don't have many slippery conditions to show you, but we'll just take Toyota's word for it, I guess, right? Yeah. And I've activated sports mode. I am in sports mode, says so right here. I'm gonna go on the straightaway after this vehicle, and we'll do some acceleration, which is the fun part. Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid MAX. Let's go! Oh yeah. Yeah, that 400 pounds-feet of torque is definitely an immediately felt sensation. 0 to 60 in what, 5.6? I think Toyota says it's actually like 6.5, but real time, I've been testing, like Car and Driver tested it, and it was like 5.6. I'm going to take their time over anybody else's, really. But it's a lot of fun, and it doesn't stop there. What I notice is that you can corner a lot better. Maybe it has to do with that torque split and that power, and just, yeah, way more power and way more instant torque than you would normally expect from Toyota Grand Highlander with a regular naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Now let's go back to normal mode, just to show that you can go on the opposite side of the spectrum here and just be cruising along and have a fairly quiet ride. Now, Toyota's known to have, you know, that not so pleasant sounding engine, and in normal mode you can see that the acceleration is driven a lot more via the electric motors, and it's still a fast acceleration in normal mode. You just don't hear that more intense rumble than you do if I throw it in sports mode. Now let's talk fuel economy. On my gauge right now, you'll notice it says 9.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That has to do with the fact that we were filming, we were idling for a long time. My son was with me, he was hot, so I let the car run and have the AC on blast. So what I had on highway was actually 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is very good in my opinion, especially for hybrids. I mean, it's more of a city kind of thing. I would say that on average combined, yeah, around 8.9 liters to 9 liters per 100 kilometers is what you should expect, and which is 27 miles per gallon, about the same as the 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers that they advertise. So fuel economy, yeah, it's pretty close to being on what the EPA says it should be. So that is pretty good. Sometimes cars are better, they do better, and sometimes they do worse. This one is pretty much bang on. Lastly, on the highway, I drove this quite a bit on the highway. I did about 300 kilometers worth of driving on the highway, and I appreciated the advanced cruise control and how good it was at maintaining the vehicle inside the lane. So not necessarily bouncing, just kind of keeping you nice centered in the lane without very minimal adjustments. Just keep in mind, this is not a hands-free driving assist. Hands on, eyes on the road, and just keep focusing on driving. And you should, because this is a lot of fun driving. Oh yeah, a lot of fun. And I'm gonna hit another curve here. Woo! Oh yeah. Let's hit that curve and then go up that steep, I think it's 15% incline. Yeah, we go. Well, there's a bounce there. Oh, here we go, squealing some tires. Hybrid Max, let's go. Yes. Oh, really good control. Really good control. Yeah, Toyota, you did a bang up job. I am quite impressed with how this hugs the road, corners, accelerates, everything. Let's do one more sharp left turn. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys. Whoa, squealing some tires a little bit. It really does a good job. Wow, I would not try that with any 3-row SUV. Okay, so let's wrap it up. I'm gonna park it. We'll conclude it. Tell you my pros and cons, and let's do so before I get pulled over. Yeah. So there it is. That's the review for the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid MAX, and this is where I start going into my pros and my cons. Now, my con is fairly simple. There's not a lot. There's actually just one, and it's kind of nitpicking. I think the infotainment, the software, is laid out in a very boring way. Every other manufacturer, they got these nice big icons. I like that. That's just a personal preference. As far as the pros, don't even get me started. Yeah, sure, it's got very functional, usable space, very good for the family. Yeah, great, but the regular Grand Highlander does that anyways. But the Hybrid Max, where it shines, is driving. And I said it in my intro, this is for the parent who's not quite dead on the inside. Just like me, just because I have a family does not mean I don't want to have fun driving. Doesn't mean I don't want to beat a car off the line at a red light that's next to me. I'm not done with that life. This is part of who I am. I'm not going to change. I have a family. I have responsibilities. This is the answer. And Toyota's kind of got me asking, like, where has this been all my life? Because this is what I definitely see myself getting if I was to get a bigger vehicle, if I needed a little bit more space than what I currently have right now. I want to hear from you guys. I want you to comment below. Does that speak to you? Is that something you like, or are you okay with just a regular Grand Highlander hybrid? You want to save on that fuel economy, which is fine. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to present you a vehicle. But I can tell you, drivers drive. I'm that kind of driver. I like to have fun. And this is where the Grand Highlander Max Hybrid Max shines, is having fun driving. Don't forget to like, subscribe, join the Foutsider family, and I'll see you guys in the next one.